Alright, guys. Video. Closer football gets around. You know, I can't stay away from here forever. I gotta engage with my audience. Gotta engage with my people. Football season is right around the corner. We are exactly, if we're talking about the first NFL game of the year, 22 days away. Yeah, 22 days away. So, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And for me personally, it's not even about getting to the day. It's not even about getting to the day of week one. It's just about getting to the week. Just get us to the week. Just get us to Monday or Tuesday of that week, and I'm good. Seriously. Oh, a little bit of a malfunction there. So, I thought about making this topic, I guess, a little specific today. What's up, Snake? What's up, Jerry? I was looking at the NFL schedule, and I was looking at the primetime games, and I was looking at the double headers and all that stuff. And of course, whenever you look at the games that are on the schedule, you see Dallas and Philadelphia, you see Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and then you also see and guys, I'm familiar with the ratings, I'm familiar with what's up, Rise Up ATL. I'm familiar with what people are watching on TV and where the fan bases are and all that other good stuff. But there's something that's been catching my eye the last few years, and it doesn't sit right with me. It does not sit right with me. Chicago and Green Bay for the last, I want to say, 3 or 4 years, maybe five. It could be ongoing. That rivalry, which has been quote unquote, and keep in mind, everybody, that rivalry has been dominated by Green Bay. Dominated by Green Bay for at least 15 years. At least 15 years. Green Bay has literally won 90% of those games. Green Bay and Chicago still somehow manages to get Sunday night attention, Monday night attention, Thursday night attention, and week one of this year, it's America's Game of the Week on Fox. It's the doubleheader. It's the 325 game, 425 if you're East Coast. It's the doubleheader that's going to be nationally televised on Fox. Why? 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 There is nothing to be excited about that game. Nothing at all. Nothing. Justin Fields versus Jordan Love. Are you kidding me? I don't care who's starting at quarterback. Green Bay is going to. Why is that rivalry still advertised as prime time and one of the top rivalries in the NFL as of today? I get it. It's like 100 years old. But I thought the NFL was a what have you done for me lately type of league. What's been going on recently type of league. Yet the Bears and Green Bay still every single year. Every single freaking season. And don't get me wrong, there'll be one game out of, I don't know, five that'll be close. But more times than not, Green Bay wipes the floor with the Chicago Bears. And more times than not, it's not even a close game. I can't stand how that game every single year getting some kind of national attention. Another game that I can't stand that gets national attention every single year, sometimes twice a year. Philadelphia and Dallas. Every single freaking year, man. And there's not much to explain about that fact. It's just Dallas and Philadelphia are two of the highest markets in the NFL. There's really nothing you can do about that. Nonetheless, it doesn't take away the fact that that rivalry is overplayed on TV, and I'm tired of seeing it on Sunday Night Football every year, on America's Game of the Week every freaking year, man. It's overplayed. Why don't they have more conference games for the doubleheaders where teams don't play that much? Like, for example, I would like to see something like, let's just kind of pull two good teams out the hat. The 49ers and Minnesota on the doubleheader. That would be a good doubleheader to me. Or you can look at the Giants in Seattle, or the Giants in Detroit, or something like that. You know, a doubleheader that we don't get to see much. About to order my coffee real quick.
Hey, thanks for choosing Starbucks. You can order when you're ready.
Can I just get a medium-sized caramel macchiato, iced caramel macchiato,
Yeah,
and a water cup as well?
that's all for you today.
That's it.
May I have your name?
Noah, Noah.
All right, no, it's gonna be $5.95. Take your window.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it wouldn't be a 44 the legendary stream if I didn't stop of a intense conversation. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good.
$5.95. You know what?
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you. It's extra tip and then another fee.
Gotcha.
Can you see? Like a there.
I see it. I got you. Thank you.
All right, just a moment.
No problem. Okay. Well, I'm gonna put up my window for a second so they can give me my coffee. Well, she's giving me my coffee.
Would you like a straw?
Yeah, I'll take a straw, please.
I got one more coming.
Gotcha. Promise, guys, I'm gonna get back on topic in a second. Yeah. All right. Okay, now I can finish what I was saying. So basically, what I was saying is I'd like to see some of these double headers more versatile and diverse amongst different teams, or freaking teams. Dallas, Philadelphia, who up in there? San Francisco. Even though San Francisco is not a bad pick, it's just they're always like playing the same teams. Um, my point being is, it seems like these doubleheaders are just more fixated on the Cowboys and Philadelphia and Green Bay and the Bears, and some even Pittsburgh and Baltimore every single year is on Sunday Night Football. But there's not enough attention for Saints Falcons. And people are like, well, those teams suck. They haven't been anything in a few years. They're not really two great teams. Okay, let me put it like this. In the early 2010s, those were two of the top teams in the NFC. From about 2009, 2008, up until really just recently. The Falcons, I guess you can say, stopped being relevant in 2018. But up until that point, Saints and Falcons were always in the thick of the NFC South every single year. And more times than not, Saints and Falcons goes down to the wire every single year in at least one game. What's up, Brandon Rodgers? Every single season since, I want to say, 2008, 2007, there's been at least one close game. 2007, 22-16, Saints win over Atlanta. 2008, 29-25, Saints win over Atlanta. 2009, the Super Bowl year where we won the Super Bowl, both games came down to the wire. And in that Monday Night Football game in Week 8, it looked like the game was over at 35-24. Atlanta recovered a fumble with like a minute and a half, kicked the field goal, and then recovered an onside kick and had a chance at a Hail Mary. And of course, the game later on that year, 26-23, with Chris Redman as their quarterback, came down to the wire. And then the year after that, that overtime thriller in New Orleans where Garrett Hartley missed that damn field goal, which ultimately costed us the #1 seed. And then the Monday Night Football game in Atlanta. Atlanta hadn't lost a home game all year long. Saints go in there and win that game 17-14. And I can continue to go on every single year from that point on, and you're going to see at least one Saints-Falcons game that went down to the wire. But let's talk about what's happened recently with the Saints-Falcons. This past season, I know the Saints won both games, but both games came down the wire, especially that Week 1 game where the Saints overcame a 16-point deficit and won in thrilling fashion in Atlanta. Last year, you look at the game where Atlanta was up 24-6 going into the fourth quarter, and the Saints come back, take a 25-24 lead, and the Falcons, unpredictably, you think they're going to blow the lead. They throw a huge pass to Cordero Patterson and complete it and win the game and avoid blowing another lead. Like, these Saints-Falcons games are some of the best games in the NFL all year long. And they're not recognized. They're not nationally televised because they're too busy putting the Bears and Packers, and God so help me, how many times I've seen Philadelphia and fucking Dallas on a primetime game or on a game of the week, Sunday Night Football, every freaking year, dude. It gets old. It gets old. I'm tired of seeing that same game on TV every single year. Baltimore-Pittsburgh every single year, although that's a great rivalry. That rivalry has definitely lived up to its hype. But it's just the title. Baltimore-Pittsburgh, Dallas-Philadelphia, Green Bay-Chicago. Like, it gets old. I'm tired of watching it. What's up, Sentinel? For years, Saints-Falcons has been one of the most gritty rivalries in the NFL. Coming down to the goal line at the end of the game, coming down to a field goal, coming down to the final possession. And as of recently, that rivalry has not been getting recognition. And you can sit there and say, well, both teams suck. But what about Chicago and Green Bay? Chicago's been one of the worst teams in the NFL for years. They haven't been good, yet they're getting recognition. They're getting put up against Green Bay on Sunday Night Football every single year, even though we all know Green Bay's going to win. We all know Green Bay's going to win by 20 points, yet they still don't hesitate to put them on Sunday Night Football. And still, even this year, no Aaron Rodgers. Chicago doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, well, Justin Fields, up and coming, but not proven. You're putting them in prime time, putting them nationally televised. Just aside from and you might think that this video is all dedicated to promote Saints Falcons, screw all the other division rivalries. It's not even that. That's just kind of the cherry on top. But where I'm going with this content is completely different. That's just the icing on the cake. When you look at the nationally televised schedule for the 425 games this year, especially on Fox, half of them have Dallas on them. I'd say about 80% of them have Dallas and Philadelphia. Dude, I'm tired of seeing that. I'm tired of seeing both of those teams on TV. You know some games that would be really good? Really good to put on those doubleheaders? Minnesota and New Orleans. And meet the Mets. It's funny you mentioned playoff battles in history. Every time the Vikings and Saints meet in the playoffs, over the last, I want to say, 3 times they've met in the playoffs. And I know that's not a lot, but in recent history, since 2010, they've met 3 times. Every game has come down to the wire in thrilling fashion. Thrilling fashion. Saints Vikings this year is a 12 o'clock game. It's what people want to see. It makes money. Bullshit. I don't want to see it. I'm tired of watching it. The NFL used to be diverse. It used to have diverse games at 425. Sunday Night Football. Like you would see a few years ago, they had Green Bay at Indianapolis for America's Game of the Week. I think they flexed something, probably a game with Dallas. They probably flexed out because Dallas sucked, and they put an interconference battle, a game that you don't get to see a lot, in that 425 slot. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to more San Francisco, New York Giants. We need to get back to, you know, what other great games have there been that don't always include Dallas and Philadelphia? Uh, remember whenever San Francisco and the Saints were getting America's Game of the Week a few years, well, 7-8 years ago. Obviously, that they were both really good, but I want to see more games like that. Well, Bobby, it's a pathetic strategy. It's a pathetic way to go about it. No justice. It's all about fucking Dallas and Philadelphia. You might as well change it to from America's Game of the Week, and I get it, America's team, which is probably why they started calling it America's Game of the Week because of they knew ultimately Dallas was going to get most of the games. You might as well call it the NFC East Game of the Week. In fact, why don't you dedicate Fox like they used to dedicate CBS to the SEC, the Southeastern Conference in college football? Why don't you promote the NFC East just to strictly Fox? Just do that. I give you a point there, Bobby. I do like the NFC doubleheaders more than the AFC doubleheaders. It's just something about CBS's doubleheaders where they just don't seem just something with CBS in general. The games just seem less intense. And most times than not, what's up, Eddie? More times than not, it's not even all about Dallas being in the game of the week or Philadelphia being in the game of the week. It's more the fact that they just play each other every damn year in a primetime game or in America's game of the week. They play each other every damn year. Meet the Mets, dude. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about it. I don't know what it is about maybe it's the broadcasting, the sound effects. It's just something about their broadcasting just does not sound intense. It sounds so nonchalant and smooth as opposed to Fox where you feel the intensity, you feel the energy, even from where the game's being played, like you feel the energy, even watching from your TV. As opposed to CBS. CBS is just like, and more times than not, their games are snooze fest. Most probably because you got Kansas City playing in almost all of them. But the game's over by the end of the third quarter. YouTube production in the NFL this year. YouTube TV. I don't know, dude. I kind of like the local stations. The idea of having the local stations. I'm just old school with that. I hate this whole Amazon Prime BS. I think it sucks. I just go to Stream East and watch. Oh shoot, let me delete this stream after I get off of here. Let me let me delete this stream whenever I get off of here. I'll be exposing myself. But yes, I do watch Thursday Night Football elsewhere other than Amazon Prime. Let me just say that. It's free. Well, also, I think because I'm a college student, I can get the 6 months free Amazon Prime. So that's what I also used last year. This upcoming year, not sure. Not sure if I'm gonna have that perk. Oh yeah, I like Jim Nance and Tony Romo. I like them as the ultimate. I do have Prime as of right now. I do have Prime. I actually do have Amazon Prime. But it's me and my brother. We share it. So I mean, it's kind of you know. But ultimately, uh, whenever they'd have Thursday night football games, especially at the beginning of last season, I'd just go on and watch it on. Let me not say the magic word. Stream East. Okay, there we go. That just tells you how much I know about Brent Musburger. I don't even know who the hell that is. Um, NBC produces Sunday Night Football the most out of any of the channels. Not sure what you mean by that, but if you mean like they're dedicated to Sunday night games, like out of all the Sunday night games that are played, whether it be on Fox, whatever, NBC, then I mean it's been like that for years. I don't see it changing. NBC doesn't need to sell their rights to any other channel for Sunday Night Football. Back whenever it was on ABC, I wasn't feeling that. Well, I mean, I was a kid, so I really didn't have much of a say. But I like the format for Sunday Night Football, the intensity, the halftime, the highlights that they do. It's a good feel, like especially after your team gets a win early on Sunday, and you start watching Football Night in America, and you're like, "Hi, yeah, fresh off a win, my team won," and they start showing your team's highlights and stuff on the Football Night in America pregame show. That feels pretty good. I will say that. and they'll jump from game to game and show all the main highlights of the day. Damn, I can't wait for football, dude. Oh my god, I cannot wait for football. I never tried Apple TV baseball. Like I said, I just use that one Magic app to watch all sports, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but yes. Well, Rise Up the last few nights, Sunday night and Tuesday, they've been on national television, at least for me. They were on TBS last night, and they were on ESPN on Sunday night, so that was cool. I know, Brandon, exactly. That's how you know you need to wrap up. You need to go bullshit some quizzes or whatever. And I'm sitting there like trying to finish off this paper, bro. Like that's the vibes, man. Hey, I can't wait for it, dude. I can't wait for it. Or I get home with my Chinese food, and then the game's just starting on Sunday night. Yeah, Mets was a very bad. What a turnaround y'all's team did from last year. I'm sorry for you. Slita is entertaining. Rise Up ATL. They do Texas Rangers down here and Houston Astros. That's the local Bally Sports MLB production. Oh, absolutely, Mets. Absolutely. What are y'all like 52 and 67 now? I think the only way y'all would have any shot of making a wild card, which, and this is wishful thinking, y'all would literally have to finish like, let's see how many games y'all have left, about like 40, 42. Y'all would have to probably go like 32 and 10, 32 and 10, 33 and 9 or something like that. I think 90 wins you'd probably have to get. But, you know, two New York teams in a row, man. Just got through the Mets and the Yankees. Yeah, Rise up. You'll be well out of high school by then. I'll be graduated with my master by then, and I'll be up and going with my life by then. By the time the Mets are competitive again. Cowboys face, that's how I was. That's how I was, but I've gotten into the Braves over the years, so I'm very a lot more involved than I was, and I try to watch as many games and keep up with the games. Whenever you're at work and you click on your phone power button and ask Siri Atlanta Braves, and you see the score to the game, and it's pretty much every day. That's how you know you're growing as a fan, at least for me. Well, football is technically back, but I don't like to get my energy going until week one. And like I told you guys, it's not necessarily about getting to game day. it's not about getting to game day. It's about just getting to the week. Like, just get me to Monday, September 4th, Labor Day. Just get me to Labor Day. Get me to Labor Day, and I'll be fine. And we're about 2.5 weeks from Labor Day. Yeah, about 2.5 weeks from Labor Day. It's about 2 days Monday, so 5 days until Monday. Well, a little bit over 2.5 weeks until Labor Day. But the point is, we're under 3 weeks until we get to that point where we want to get to, which is the week of week 1. What's up, Bobby? The other Bobby. Beantown. What's up, my dude? Voice face, you missed it. I was just going on a little bit of a rant on how your team in Philadelphia every single year, and I already know what a lot of people are gonna say. It's the most common explanation, the most common excuse. Well, it brings viewers. Hold up, got a little nasally for a second. It brings viewers. It brings money. All the eyes on the TV. Texas is a big state, two big markets, and all that stuff. Like, okay, even for the general population, doesn't it get old seeing the exact same primetime games and double headers every single year? Like, don't you want to see something else? Like, we got some upcoming teams into this year, like Detroit. Detroit should be a lot better. And then you got the Seahawks. Detroit and Seattle play each other this year. I bet money that it's at 12 o'clock. I'll put every cent that I have on the line right here that game starts at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, wherever you're at, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the first game. The first game of the day. Exactly, Cowboys face. And I know you're a Cowboys fan, so you're used to all the attention and half the season being on prime time, all that other good stuff. But I mean, wouldn't you ever like to turn on the TV and see like a random matchup? It could be an in-conference matchup. Let's say, I don't know, Minnesota and the Falcons. Minnesota and the Falcons. Both teams going into this season have somewhat of a chance to do something this year. Wouldn't that be an intriguing game to kind of put as a doubleheader or a primetime game? You know, instead of always putting Dallas and Philadelphia, it's really the game that I'm mad at. I don't necessarily mind Dallas being in a doubleheader game or a Sunday night game or Philadelphia being in a doubleheader game or Sunday night game. It's just the principle that they're always playing each other. It gets old. Yeah, but Seahawks Eddie and Brandon, the games at 12 o'clock or 1 Eastern or your time, 10 Pacific. It's the early game. That's a game to me that I feel like should be worth putting as a doubleheader. And that's the kind of game that I look forward to seeing on TV. At least mix it up. At least mix it up. At the very minimum. Detroit has had a 325 spot one time that I've ever seen watching football. One time that I've look at the little. That's how you know you're just getting up and getting started your day when you got the freaking hair flopping out. Uh, Detroit has only had one doubleheader moment that I've ever seen in my entire time watching football, and that was in 2014 when Green Bay and Detroit were playing Week 17 for the division, and that was America's game of the week. That was the game of the week. That's the only time Detroit has ever had a doubleheader, a national game of the week. That's it. And it was simultaneous to CBS's doubleheader, which was, I'm not going to mention it, Rise Up, but I am going to mention it. Falcons Panthers, where the Panthers blew y'all out 34-3. So it was simultaneous. Week 17, both channels get to have the doubleheader. Always repping, Bobby. Always repping. I am gonna go try to play a little basketball later. I've been before what I've been doing before classes, or at least starting this week. I've been like I got class at 4. It's 11 something my time right now. About to go home, cut the grass. Probably put an extra change of clothes on because it's hot. It's right now it's 84 degrees. It's not bad. It's been like 100 and something since I can last remember. But I'm gonna put some extra change of clothes on, pack me an extra change of clothes, go to the school gym where I got free access to the gym, and then just go shoot for a little bit. Go play ball for a little bit. Go shoot, and then take a little shower, and then go to class. Dude. Well, I'm actually I'm not gonna be a doctor when it's all said and done, but I'll have a master's. So uh, it's good to put on a resume. It's also doesn't hurt with the financial aid. And then yeah, it keeps me busy. Keeps me busy. Actually, on the look for a different opportunity right now, so I can just kind of develop some kind of growth working with people. So I am trying to seek other job opportunities right now. Um, but that was funny, dude. I made a joke about myself, like there are people that are probably like there are people that have been knowing me since I started my undergrad in like 2016, and they've been asking me every year, "Are you still in school? Are you still in school?" Take it easy, Mets. Are you still in school? Are you still in school? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing school. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, these people have got to be thinking like, bro, this dude's gonna be in school till he's freaking 40. Like, what the hell is he doing? Like, who goes to school for 7 years? Which it happens. But long story short, um, like I said, I do financial aid, so it's like I'm not coming out of pocket, so I'm not gonna take every class in the matter of a school period. So it does take time for me to kind of maneuver. But at the same time, there was also a few classes that I flunked back in 2016, 2017, 2018. Whenever I was smoking, dude, I was smoking heavy, dude. I was like that was. Let me put it like this: when the Saints were playing the Vikings in the Minneapolis Miracle game, during that game, right as the game was getting like the Saints scored their first touchdown to make it 17-7 at the end of the third quarter. As soon as the commercial break comes out, I go outside and I go smoke in the patio. As I'm smoking in the patio, I miss the interception that Williams gets. That's how that's how invested I was. I was just smoking like hella weed at the time. I don't now. It's I've been off for a while. I'm not shitting anybody that does, but it's been years since I've had that habit, so I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful for that. Anyway, that kind of just got deep. Anyway, the point is, I failed a few classes, so I had to. It set me back about a year. I set myself back about a year. I could have gotten my undergrad a year early. In fact, probably the COVID year, the year of COVID, I could have probably graduated in 2020 like I was supposed to, or at least the spring of 21. But I ended up graduating in December 21 because I it was chemistry. It was this psychology course that was like the internet that I was trying to BS. I'm not even gonna lie. I was trying to BS it, look for all the answers online and all that stuff. And it was also this math class as well. So those three courses that I ended up failing. That's about the equivalent to almost one semester. So had I taken care of business and just passed those classes, I would have been fine. Probably would have graduated in 21 of April or May 21 and been able to start graduate school in the fall of 21 as opposed to the spring. So it set me back about a semester, maybe two. Nah, Bobby. Like I said, I was smoking weed back then, and it just wasn't. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed sitting in the patio smoking weed. It was nice, but I knew I had to get off of it whenever I was failing chemistry, and since then I've been good. Education. I got a high school diploma, but never went to college. Partied hard, and then worked in a correctional officer. Well, I mean, Cowboys face. It's not always the worst thing in the world. You're serving a purpose to an extent. I mean, sometimes it's not about and I sound cliche. I sound like one of those tree huggers saying this. It's not about always being the best. It's about being your best. But in everything, you try to find purpose. You try to be purposeful and make an impact. That's what it's all about. You said it was only every class that I sucked at, basically. I have to. I'd have to rewatch this and see what I said, but it was an algebra class, which I ended up retaking and getting an A in. It was a psychology course that was online where I didn't read, I didn't do anything in that class. I did nothing. Nothing. All I did was try to look for the answers on the internet. Ended up getting a D in that class, so I didn't. It wasn't good enough to move forward with. And then the chemistry class, I just sucked at chemistry. I tried in that class, I did. I just sucked at it. I did not retake chemistry. I just did biology instead, and I did just fine in that. But the other two classes I retook and got A's in them. So yeah, just got on your lunch break, Bruce Saint. Where you at? You working or are you in school or what are you doing? Baker Street, Jerry Rafferty. You can walk into any grocery store and hear that damn song. Any grocery store you go to. What's up, Bucks? Brute Saint, if it was up to me, I would be hibernating for the next 3 weeks. If there was a pill I can take that can give me all my nutrients and all that good stuff, and I'll be able to survive and all that good stuff, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it. I just want football, dude. But hey, what y'all all been up to? What have y'all all been up to? Enough about me. What's up, Cameron? Monday through Friday's not bad, dude. I mean, that's kind of ideal. Yeah, that's ideal, dude. You're making money, working Monday through Friday, and then your weekends you get to enjoy. It don't get better than that. Cameron, I don't know about that. Listen, man, a lot of you are, and I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but I think I've already prepared myself mentally, not only for this season, but just like the next few seasons with the Saints. Like, I don't think it's very ideal to expect or hope for a Super Bowl. If it happens, it happens. But I see a lot of people getting way too optimistic based on the Saints' strength of schedule. And like I said, I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer or rain on anybody's parade, but you got to think in relation to the way we're looking at these teams on our schedule. And I've said this over and over. You got to think that these teams are looking at us and thinking the same thing. Like, we might see this team as a chance to win a game, that team as a chance to win a game, but those same teams are looking at us and being like, oh, we can win that game. It goes both ways. I think a reasonable expectation or hopeful for the Saints this year is 10-7, 9-8 or 10-7. I see people not even necessarily on here. I got a couple friends that are like, oh man, the Saints schedule is so weak, man. They can go like 15-2, 12-5, 13-4. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, bro, I don't think you know the New Orleans Saints. I don't think you know this team. I don't think you understand the algorithm of the NFL. Usually, when you have an easy schedule, you don't really have an easy schedule. I mean, we have an easy schedule, quote unquote, an easy schedule for a reason. Because we're in a division where we think everybody's going to be bad. But then again, if everybody's bad, then we're bad. And then the place that we got last year, third place, says a lot about the competition that we're going to have this year. And then on top of that, it is very rare that you see teams that were bad last year that are as bad or worse the year after. So a lot of those teams are going to get better. Bobby, if and answer this honestly. If Bryce Young led you guys to the playoffs this year and did not win a playoff game, would you not be grateful at least? Would you not be at least like, hey man, I think we're headed in the right direction for the future. I'm grateful that we at least made the playoffs and had a playoff game. Would you not be grateful? I'd be grateful. If Derek Carr got us to the playoffs and we didn't win a playoff game, I'd be like, hey man, I'm grateful. Fine. You know, sometimes beggars can't be choosers. All you can ask for, especially in this division, except if you're Tampa Bay, because I think in Bucks, Rays, Bolts, I don't think there's any like questions asked. I think y'all are gonna absolutely be the dumpster of the NFC South. I think I think the division's ultimately going to come down at the end of the year. That's funny. I think the NFC South is ultimately going to come down to the Saints and Falcons in Week 18, but I think it's going to be a three-horse race throughout the entire year. And I think Carolina towards the end of the year is just gonna, they're gonna fall off because they might lose a game or two that might be a little too tough for them or whatnot. I think it's gonna be like 10-7, 9-8, 8-9, and then Tampa Bay I think is just gonna be 5-12 or something. And now that Bucks, Rays, Bolts is telling me that Russell Gage is out for the year, that just adds insult to injury. I mean, who do y'all really got? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and then you got Baker Mayfield throwing to him with the same head coach as you had last year that was coaching Tom Brady. You give Tom Brady his first ever losing season, and you get rid of the best thing that's ever happened to you. You get rid of the solution. You get rid of the solution, even though he's 40 something years old. You get rid of the solution, but you keep the problem in Todd Bowles. You get rid of the solution, Tom Brady, which wasn't by choice, but you keep the problem and add another problem to the team in Baker Mayfield. How can that possibly go up? How can you possibly get better from that? You can't. At least every other team in the NFC South has somewhat made a change that could improve their chances. I think Derek Carr is an improvement at the quarterback position. I think the talent that we got around him can be improvements. The coaching's not an improvement, I'll tell you that much. And it's not necessarily even Dennis Allen. I'm not too hot on Dennis Allen. I don't think he's a good coach by any means. But I'm just worried about Pete Carmichael. You all know that. He looks like the guy that Bubble Butts and SpongeBob, the one that stole the pickles and hit him under his tongue. I don't see any pickles. He looks like that guy. He looks like the guy in Friday the 13th, Part 5. You remember the beginning whenever he's at the grave and it's raining outside and he's got the raincoat on and Jason comes up and he's about to stab him with the machete and then he wakes up from the dream? The kid with the glasses? That's Pete Carmichael. He's like, no, no, no. He's just standing there behind the bush. No, no, no. You're not running. You're just standing there. No, no, no. Just waiting to get slashed with the machete. That's Pete Carmichael. Pete Carmichael is that little Rocco's Modern World. What's that little anxious amphibian? The one that wore the glasses. I'm nervous. Like the one with the deep New York accent or whatever. I forgot the little figure's name. What's that little amphibian's name from Rocco's Modern World? The one that always got nervous and anxious, wore glasses, kind of nerdy, looked like a dinosaur amphibian or whatever. I don't freaking know. That's Pete Carmichael. I don't like this guy. I can't stand him. He needs to go. Get rid of him. Be gone. Scram. Yeah, Bubble Bass. That's what Pete Carmichael looks like. He looks like Bubble Bass. He looks like Lucas from the movie Lucas. Whenever he thought he was taking the girl on a date, and then he goes by her house and starts showing her, hey, I got these new shoes, I got all this other stuff on me too, and then her date comes out the house. That's Pete Carmichael. Hey, you could look like Pete Carmichael too, Bobby, if you cut your hair. You got the glasses, just shave your beard and cut your hair. Let's see, who else? Who else is Pete Carmichael? I already said he looked like he got shoved in lockers as a kid. He looked like he got shoved in lockers as a kid. Um, he looks like the guy that was in Friday the 13th. I think his name was Tommy. Tommy. That's his name, Tommy. In Friday the 13th Part 5, where he's standing behind the bush at the beginning of the movie and it's raining and Jason kills those two guys that are digging in his grave and then comes towards him and gets prepared to slash him, and he's just standing there, no, 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 like not running, not trying to escape, just standing there behind the bush, no, no, and then wakes up in his dream. Bucks raised bolts. I already said y'all are winning 5 games. That's it. There is no point of direction that leads me to believe that y'all can be competitive this year. Yeah, he also looks like Pete Carmichael. Also looks like he starred in Revenge for the Nerds, Revenge of the Nerds. Just a freaking clown. No knowledge, nothing. They just needed to fill a spot. Roger Goodell said, "Hey, you need to have somebody at the offensive coordinator spot, or else you can't play football this season." They just told him to, "Hey, Pete, you're gonna have to take it." Just think about it. What do you think Alvin Kamara thinks about Pete Carmichael? Like, if you were to go to Alvin Kamara and ask him, "Hey, what do you think about Pete Carmichael?" Yeah, well, I think he's brilliant. He's a brilliant-minded coach. He's a brilliant-minded coach. He's got a lot of good ideas. He's really strategic. Come on now. They probably make fun of him. Him, Michael Thomas, Derek Carr, Cam Jordan, they all probably make fun of Pete Carmichael behind his back and make fun of the way he looks and uh, roast him. I bet the whole damn team makes fun of him. Yeah, that boy don't know how to call that boy stupid as hell. That boy got a job. That boy they got desperate and hired that boy. They all probably make fun of him behind his back. He's like the manager that you work for that everybody makes fun of and they don't respect. Ask Michael Thomas what he thinks about Pete Carmichael. Michael Thomas has been wanting to get out of here for the longest time. Now he's acting well right now. I'm still keeping my wall up with him, but he's acting okay right now. And as long as he acts like this, we're good. And you all know, and I've said it. I've said it 100 times. I wanted Michael Thomas gone. I've said it 100 times. I'm not gonna back down from that, and by that I mean I'm not gonna say I never said that, because I did say that. I did say that I wanted him gone. But as of right now, he seems like he's acting obedient and accordingly. So if he continues to act this way and produce, then I say it, just say it. I may forgive him. I may forgive him. That was hard to say because I was talking bad on that man. I was talking how I wanted him gone and all this other stuff. But if he continues to produce and go according to his act, then I do believe in second chances or third or fourth or fifth or however many he's had. I mean, hey, as long as he's playing, cool. But you all get it. We've all been through that motion. But just think about what Michael Thomas would say. Hey, I will say this. I want Pete Carmichael gone before Michael Thomas. I'd rather keep Michael Thomas and Michael Thomas on the bench. I'd rather him take up a roster spot and sit on the bench all year again than have Pete Carmichael coaching our offense again. I will say that. So, hey, I want Pete Carmichael gone more than I want Michael Thomas gone. But just imagine what Michael Thomas would say if you asked him, "Hey, what are your thoughts on Pete Carmichael and his strategy and the way that he game plans for you guys and orchestrates the offense and how versatile he is?" Michael Thomas would be sitting there like, "Oh man, I gotta come up with some BS to make up." I think Pete is a brilliant-minded coach, bruh. Bruh, come on. Oh man. Well, there's only so much I can say about the guy. There's only so much I can say to roast him about. I mean, we all know he's a ding dong. He's like the he's like the. Let me make sure I word this right because I don't want to offend anybody and I don't want to say something. He's like he's like the throwed off cousin that you have to accept in the family because he's family. So yeah, that's what I think about him. I can go on and on and on and on about that man, but I'm gonna go ahead and change the subject. So guys, we're exactly 22 days away from kickoff, and I mean, like I said, guys, it's not about even getting to the game day. It's just about getting to the game week. Just get us to week 1. Get us to Labor Day. Get us to Labor Day and just get us to Labor Day, and then well, everything else will take care of itself. So technically speaking, we're about 19 days away from where I want us to be in time on Labor Day. 19 days away. That's like I said, 3.5 weeks. I know how you feel about one of your cousins. That can mean anybody, dude. I have an idea of who I think you're referring to, Cowboys face. Somebody in my fan base, but that could mean a few different people. A few different people in my fan base. And I'll be one to say we got some people that are throwed off in my fan base that don't got all their screws together. And hey, let me not speak too much. Let me not bite more than I can chew because I didn't say I had it all together. But I'm not on here every damn day. I'm on here maybe once a month, or at least it's been that way. I've been on here once a month. But recently I've tried to make a few different streams just to engage with everybody. Not necessarily make it a habit, but as football gets closer, obviously I'll be here putting out my reactions and things like that. And Cowboys face is actually kind of funny. I was watching your reaction to the ending of the game, not this past year against the 49ers, but the year where Dak decided to run and slide and you guys didn't get the spike off in time, or referees got in the way and didn't let y'all get the spike off, which that's still absolute BS to this day. I was watching how you handled it, man. Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, you handled that really well, dude. You handled that very well. I was very impressed. Very impressed. Hey, Bobby's gonna be one of those people. He's gonna be saying, "Oh, dude, you're gonna be in college till you're 40. You're gonna be like that movie Mac and Devin go to high school. You're gonna be Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg failed the I don't know how many times he failed the 12th grade, like 10 times or whatever in that movie. Bobby, are you gonna go live for some of the Panthers games this year, like you used to? I'd like to see you go live for a few of the Carolina Panther games. I miss those live streams where you would sit in the couch and sit there and react to the games. Oh no, I hear you, man. I hear you, buddy. I hear you, man. It sucks. But that's the fun. But ultimately, Cowboys face, and it's hard to look at the bigger picture. But ultimately, that is the fun of it. That's the fun of football season in general. Is that you invest 4 or 5 months of your time to what we call a seasonal story, a journey, and you're sitting there wondering how this journey is going to end. How is this season going to end? And then you have expectations, you have hopes, and then whenever it falls short of those hopes in shocking fashion, it's like you're almost kind of like a bit of trauma. It's like almost kind of your mood is absolutely manipulated. And although in the moment it's not fun, ultimately whenever you look months down the line and getting closer to the next season, you realize, man, now I realize why I love football, because it's not always what you think it's going to be. If your team won every year that it was expected to win, then what would be the point of watching? There would be no point. That's the whole point, though. No pun intended. The fact that, there is a team that the Super Bowl favorites week one, and then they may not even make the playoffs by the end of the year. Or the fact that your team can be projected to win 6 games and just fall short of the NFC Championship the same season. To me, I love that. I absolutely love that. But you really don't know. You don't realize how grateful you are for even the tough seasons or even the tough endings to seasons until you until you realize, like, okay, we're almost to next year. I'm excited. I can't wait to see how this turns out. But on another note, guys, I've been seeing a lot of movies lately. I've been not sure if y'all have AMC theaters where y'all are, AMC movie theaters, but I just joined this thing called the A List, where it's about $22 a month. In fact, I think my renewal date is tomorrow, but it's $22 a month, and you could see up to 3 movies a week, which equals out to about 12 movies a month. free movies. So once you've seen two movies, you've already got your money's worth. And I've just been seeing movie after movie after movie. So it's cool to get back in the rhythm of actually getting the movie theater experience again. Because since all the streaming sites and platforms have taken over, it's like people don't really take advantage of a traditional uh, movie activity. They all just watch on Hulu or watch on Amazon Prime or whatever, and it's just like, you might as well just burn the movie theaters down. But I've been taking advantage of that lately. Just been trying to get better every day, spiritually and mentally and physically. Yeah, that's it. But on that note, I've been on here for about over an hour, so definitely did not expect to be on here for long. Definitely didn't expect to be on there that long. Uh, Dang, it's 11:40. I gotta make a move, guys. So hey, it was good talking and chatting with you guys. As always, it's always a pleasure to engage. I love it. Thank you all for tuning in, and I appreciate being a part of my rambling because I have the tendency to ramble. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys again. Um, you guys all take care. Have a great day, and I'm